What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Unknown Coatings channel. Doing a set of Wilwood brake calipers in Illusion Orange today. These came in already disassembled, or I would show you guys how to do this. I actually do have some other videos coming up and some previous videos showing the whole process for disassembling calipers, pulling the pistons, and all the other parts. So make sure to check those out. I'll try to link some down in the description if I remember. But first things first on these is going to be chemically stripping them. These are powder coated from the factory. Not the best powder coating job on the planet, and zero prep work is done before powder coating, so it does actually come off pretty easy. So we'll get these all loaded up into the basket and be dropping them into the chemical stripper here. Also got the set of caps from another job, have some clear coat on them, and we stripping at the same time. So this basket has been incredibly useful for this setup from Express Chem. I actually have an upcoming video with a deeper dive into this setup because it's been working absolutely phenomenal, and I know they are ready to launch them on their website.
A few moments later.
So after about a half hour, we're going to be pulling these things back out. Going to use the hoist. I don't want to lift these up and out. I don't know, call me old or lazy or whatever. As you can see, it creates this adorable little steam bath. This hoist, which I'll once again cover when I do the setup for this chemical stripper, has made life significantly easier. Definitely a great setup for anybody looking to do chemical stripping and keep it safe and easy for everybody. So we'll throw them into the rinse tank. Gonna pressure wash them all off. These things are definitely warm, obviously. They're in a 180-degree tank. So hopefully this doesn't steam up the lens too much as I'm doing this. I don't know if you guys know, I actually record all this stuff on my phone, so... this is them after stripping. Can still sort of see where the Wilwood is. The Wilwood's normally done with laser, so I also did find this piece of tape was underneath the powder from when Wilwood powder coated them to begin with, so that was just kind of funny to find underneath there. Alright, so now that we got these things all blasted, the way that they were masked, this was masked, this little area was masked, and then of course these are all masked off. So we're going to mask those before blasting, but we're going to have to set up a file for the masking part for these. I'm going to cut these circles on a plotter. So this is how I choose to do this process. I grab a micrometer or caliper, whatever you want to call it, and start taking some measurements. I actually will typically measure the factory in the way that they did it to begin with, but if I don't do that, I just measure the pistons and then I oversize it, or I measure the piston bore rather, and then oversize it. By, you know, a 1/4 inch total, so you have an 1/8 inch on each side, or maybe sometimes I'll just do an 1/8 inch, so it's a 1/16 of an inch on each side. Kind of depends on the caliper. But the best way to do it is go through, and I'm just making some notes here, taking the actual sizes into account for each one. Obviously, the front and rear are going to be different. I think the rear is actually shared 2 of their sizes with the front, and then the front, of course, being a 6-piston, has the 1 bigger piston. So then I jump into Illustrator. And I don't know why I actually decided to show this, especially if you can't see any of it, but you can use any software. I use Illustrator for everything because I worked in the sign industry forever, so all my design work is done within Illustrator. But if you already have a plotter and it came with software, you could just as easily do that. So you just go through, set up your circles, and then you're going to start cutting those on the plotter. I'm going to go ahead and get these brackets after chemical stripping. Going to get them ready for blasting. I didn't want to remove the protective coating that was on any of these threads. So end up putting, you know, kind of 2 layers of this blue duct tape. I actually don't know what this tape is called. I'll have to try to remember and put it in another video. But it's been great for blasting. It holds up really well to blasting, even up in the big blaster where you're moving a lot more air and it's a lot more aggressive. So I'm probably also going to stop putting footage of blasting. I don't know. I can see through this glass and see the parts just fine, but I cannot record it to save my life at this point. My old setup, I used to record things, as you guys have probably seen. And it looked great. You could always see what was going on. This just looks like it's dusty and low lit, but you can see when I open the door, it's gorgeous, obviously. So once again, blasted with 3060 green diamond in case anybody wants to ask. It's a pretty common question on all my videos. But I'm pretty sure I recorded this with audio, so let's cut to me. Alright, so got these masked up for blasting, obviously. This one is not plugged. They'll be plugged just like this one. All the machine services, slides, where these bolt in on both sides. And if you flip this over, doing that one as well, because it's where the O-ring, or the crush washer rather, goes right here. So we're gonna go in and blast these up. All right, yeah, this decides it. It's just another video that you can't see. So I'm definitely going to have to either change this setup or just be ditching this type of footage. I don't know if you guys need to see me blasting. I think a lot of people find it satisfying. All right, guys, so in the past, I've shown you that I hate stuff like this. It's like casting flash on calipers, especially expensive-ass calipers like Wilwoods. So I always go through, give a nice little sanding, get rid of all that casting flash. So I'm going to go through and do that on all these pieces because they all have it, obviously, and I just think it looks better overall. It takes about 5 minutes total to do all this, so well worth it. All right, and with that, we move on to masking. This is, of course, high temp tape because these are going to be going through the oven a few times with them being illusion orange and then needing a clear. You can see me use the circles here. I think there's another part of this video where I slow down and kind of show this a little bit better, the plotter cut circles. But I'm masking off the exact same areas, just didn't use plugs to do the bores, and now, of course, going to be masking them with high temp tape. And once those are done and hung up, this is a big step that I think people should definitely pay attention to and not skip, is to go over with a torch on all your parts and make sure that you're knocking off any lint or anything that might be there. It does make a big difference in your overall finish if you have any issues getting lint, or this will actually knock off pretty much anything. If you see little flashes of, you know, like sparks come away, that means you're burning something off of that caliper. I usually keep these things very clean, so I have very few of these, but definitely recommend it. Oh yeah, here's me slowing this down a little bit to show the placement of these circles that I cut out on the plotter. You don't have to get them absolutely perfect. If you notice from the factory, they're almost never perfectly straight. But do your best, obviously. The dust seals are going to ride right up to the edge of these, so you'll at least want to get them close to centered as you possibly can. And I'll put a link, hopefully, in the description of where I get this, cutterable, that's not a word, cuttable high temp tape, so you guys can do your own shapes. I actually use this for lots of different things. It does suck to kind of set up files for different things, but if you're doing like production stuff or doing a lot of something, or doing something real consistently, it is nice to have all this stuff pre-made for you. So I actually went through and made a file for these exact calipers because I've been doing quite a bit of Wilwood calipers lately, and I have most of the Brembo files already on hand. So it's just something to keep in mind if you're going to be doing a lot of stuff, or a lot of the same stuff, I should say. So next up, we'll be going into the booth to start spraying, obviously. Got Illusion Orange and loading it up into the Gema Optiflex 2B. This is over in like the custom booth. Once again, we use a Pro and a 2B, depending on what booth I'm spraying in at the time. There's my settings. Here's my new mask, which I will have more information on. I've had a bunch of people ask me because they saw it in one of my other videos. It is a mask from Parcel, and I am going to be working to not only be giving one of these away, but be doing a discount code for you guys. It might be for members only. I haven't really figured out exactly how I'm going to do that yet. But pay attention to some videos coming up, and you guys, will definitely get more information about it. But it is from Parcel. It's a great mask, super comfortable. The blue tint makes me look cool, or, at least that's what my girlfriend tells me. So throwing Illusion Orange on these. One thing I do recommend, if you're coating anything with an illusion, if you're doing, like, these are calipers, right? So you have two parts that are going to be put together, and you want to make sure they're absolutely perfectly the same color, which is kind of hit or miss sometimes on illusions. I spray the pattern the exact same way on every caliper half. And what I mean by that is just don't spray them kind of willy-nilly. I do a circle around the outside and then hit some of the focal points that don't take powder well. And I just try to make the same pattern on every single one to keep the amount of powder very consistent, because that's what's going to matter and affect your color the most on illusions. Put those through the oven, let them cure, get out to, flow out state, and then I do like 2 or 3 minutes. Pull them out, let them cool below 150 degrees, and I'll be throwing, this is Tiger's Bangle Clear. Pretty much the only gloss clear that I use, although I was just sent a few gloss clears from 3 different manufacturers that I'm going to be doing a test with. Also got some blacks from those manufacturers, so I'll be doing, or gloss blacks from those manufacturers, I'll be doing a test with as well. But these things came out absolutely amazing. We did not do a standard logo, like a powder coat logo, like I would normally do. We actually put a sticker logo on the outside of these after they were done. But this is them. Illusion Orange obviously looks good pretty much always. It's a great color. super consistent. I know some other illusion lines are a little inconsistent, but this one is pretty on point every time. And then here they are with the logos on them, boxed up, ready for the customer to pick up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.